Welcome to the Blind Justice Podcast, where you discover the insider secrets of injury and accident cases, and all of your law questions get answered. Now, here's your host, Chicago injury lawyer, Scott DeSalvo.
Hey guys, it's me again, back doing another podcast, and I've got good news for you. I have done the impossible. I've done what they said couldn't be done, or what they've said I was too lazy to do. I've been promising to get a co-host on the show for more than 6 months now, and I finally did. I wish I could tell you that I interviewed like 100 people and did cream of the crop sort of thing. But the truth is, she's the second person I interviewed, and she was awesome. Like, it was easy to talk to her. She's smart. She's talented, all that good stuff. So,
keep going.
Wow. And what do you call it? Humble. Super humble.
So humble.
Without any further ado, I talk too much. I'd like to introduce everyone to our co-host, Amelia Finefrock.
Thank you for that intro. Yes, keep clapping, please.
Are those the only applause you've ever received in your professional career?
Oh, please. Come on, Scott.
So what we're doing today is, everybody has a pretty good idea of who I am. Like, I've got a webpage full of, actually law stuff, but there's a little bit of stuff on me, and I've talked a little bit about me on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I know everything. I know, like, your social and where you live, and, like, pretty much got a really good idea of your background.
Typical woman knows it all. I kid for my female listeners. No, but I just feel like today we should talk about you, who you are, and all that good stuff.
I agree. I think we should talk about me.
Are you comfortable talking about you?
You know what? I'm getting a little nervous now. Maybe we should rethink this. No,
Can we start with your home address, when you leave the house, and what valuables there are, and where they might be located?
Well, I have a safe under my bed. Actually, no, under my mattress. That's where I keep all my money. I don't believe in banks.
And what is your social security number?
It's 512.
For a second there, I had a panic. I'm like,
God, please
my
don't.
God. Remember
Where did
when
I
I said
find
she
her?
was really bright?
This is why I brought her in. Business is slow. I need to.
Yeah, no kidding. So let's start with the name, because that's really, I'll be honest, like, I got resumes and stuff submitted, and I'm like, Amelia Finefrock. Amelia, great name.
Right, totally.
Finefrock,
what happened?
Not a common name, right?
Right, it's kind of weird.
There's probably like a village in England where every third person is named Finefrock.
Probably.
But here in the good old USA, land of immigrants.
I'm the only one. No, there are others. So little history lesson. It was originally Finefrock, with that special U with the 2 dots above it, whatever that name is.
So like German or?
Yes, very German.
Yeah.
Finefrock. And according to my 7th grade history teacher, it means owner of 5 frocks. So, and also it's pronounced
Fine or 5?
5.
5.
Yeah. So I'm assuming I don't speak German. I believe that maybe Foon means 5.
Yeah,
Can we get a reference check on that? Oh, wait.
Yeah, I'm going to have my production department get right on that.
Snap. Yeah. So, owner of 5 frocks.
So, true story. I read a lot of history, and I think like one of the most common things people don't realize about history is how poor everyone was before the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
Right? So somebody who had 5 frocks, or like a frock is like a dress or coat.
Yeah,
right?
I imagine it's like a petticoat.
Or
I don't know if
something
that's
like that.
right. Like a coat dress hybrid. That was my imagination.
We'll get the production team on that one too.
Yeah, can we get that? Check.
No, but somebody who had 5 whatevers, they probably were pretty well heeled. Like, they probably had a buck or 2.
Yeah, like, where is it now? Like,
yeah,
where?
what happened? It skipped a generation.
I'm not close to that side of the family or something, because
Well, I mean, it may be that an industrial revolution was not kind
so many
to that
roommates.
family member.
I have so many roommates.
So that's cool. Like, are you from the area?
No, so I'm actually from a village. Like, no joke. I come from such a small town. It's not even a town. It's actually a village. But I tell people that I'm from where LeBron James lives, Canton, Akron area, because no one knows where that is. But that's not even technically where I live. My village where I live is in Hartville, and it's like known. The only claim to fame we have is a flea market. It's like people from all over the country come to visit, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a great flea market. I used to work at it, but it's really tiny.
I still love going to flea markets because you never know what you're going to find.
Oh
right?
yeah. Like kidneys, kittens, like just
I used to
everything
love
in
to
between.
go to flea markets when I was a kid and buy like pocket knives and ninja throwing stars and crap like that. It's weird.
No, it's great.
So what? Illinois? Ohio?
Oh, Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you say village, I'm like on an island somewhere or
You'd think it's really not that exotic. It's Northeast Ohio. So, it was great. It's a good place to grow up. Like it was very like humble beginnings.
They say like it's a great place to be from.
Right. Yeah. Well, they got to be known for something, and I'm going to be that something.
Wow. Well, with your fucking 5 frocks, pardon my French, folks. I'm a potty mouth. So you brought your 5 frocks to Chicago. How long have you been in Chicago?
Oh my God. I think almost 4 years now.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm from here. I always have cabbies ask me, "Are you from here?" And I'm like,
"Did you go to school in Chicagoland?"
I did. I went to Kent State for a year in Ohio, and then I transferred to a conservatory downtown, and then that was just my firstborn son. That was so much money. So then I took a year off, and then I finished at Illinois Media School, which is, and I studied TV, radio, and broadcast. So
cool. And I know nothing about those skills. I have I'm sort of like a jack of all trades.
I feel like you know about this though. I mean, like you efficiently set up all this equipment. You can hear our voices. Like there's no fans in the back. I feel like you need to give yourself some more credit because this is it's working pretty good.
I was going to give myself credit for sure. I mean, you never have to worry about me giving myself credit.
Okay.
But you know what it is? I'm a jack of all trades. So like I like learning about different stuff and seeing if I can figure it out. But oftentimes in the arts or in like video or audio production, it's like that last 20% of rarefied knowledge and experience that takes like a really amateur production to amazing.
Totally.
I feel like, right?
Right. I think you're right.
And so I'm good enough to connect stuff and make sounds and pictures move on screen.
Where do you want your gold star, Scott?
But that's like, I don't know all the little detailed stuff. Like, honestly, I wish, like, it's one of a million things I wish I had time to do. Like, I wish what is it called? Final Cut Pro.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Is like a video editor, and there's like a motion editor.
It's an After Effects. And Adobe Audition, like
all that stuff. I would love to take time off and actually go to school to actually learn how to use that stuff instead of using it like a slightly more intelligent than average chimpanzee, which is the way I use the stuff now.
No, well, it's a whole. I mean, people go to school just for that for 4 years, just to learn. Yeah. And we had like a crash course in it, and I still don't know how to use it. It's probably terrible to say. It's probably not great. I hope my teachers aren't listening. Like that, Amelia. No, but it's a whole. Yeah, right. I passed. I graduated. No, but it's a whole world. It's not something you can just learn overnight. I still am confused. I'm like, I know how to screenshot something. Does that count?
Well, I mean, it puts you ahead of a lot of people who don't know how to do that, right?
I guess so.
I have to apologize again. I feel like this is the third podcast
Here we go.
I've had to apologize for the sound of my voice. To my own ears,
it is kind of annoying, a little bit
nasally. God, if I had a nickel for every woman who told me that, I'd have a lot of nickels.
So many nickels. We'd have a production team.
We would. We'd have. But I can't. I've been sick now with my third cold in a row, and I can't get rid of this thing. So enough with the violins. So I apologize if you're hearing a lot of breath noises and I'm more nasally and annoying than usual.
Do you take like supplements? Like, did you take your orange juice? Like, I hear that, if you take all the, what is that called?
What is this vitamin C you're speaking of?
What is vitamin C? Airborne, that stuff's great too.
I need to do it. And you know what it is? I'm a terrible sleeper too. I sleep like crap.
Yeah.
As you might imagine, I'm very busy being a lawyer.
Right.
And then I do extra stuff like the podcast and
collecting
the YouTube
nickels,
channel and stuff like that in order to get the word out.
Right.
I mainly do it because so many people come into the office and they do not know the basic stuff, like how important it is to immediately get to a doctor if you've been injured in an accident.
Right.
Stuff like that, where it's common stuff. You don't have to be a lawyer to know that stuff, but knowing it is the difference between making a case stronger or torpedoing your case. So
right.
I feel like an ethical duty. I actually stayed awake during the ethics classes in law school.
Wow.
And actually paid attention to them.
Wow. That's impressive.
Well, I don't know if it's impressive. It's rare amongst lawyers, some would say. Anyway, so that's why I feel like I got to have this channel, this media outlet to help people understand how to help themselves, right? Whether
Absolutely.
they hire me or not. If they don't, it's like the biggest mistake they've ever made in their lives.
Absolutely.
I kid. But, whether they hire me or not, if it helps them, I'm happy to do it. So,
well, it's funny you say that because last night I actually got into a car accident and my first thought was like, what do you do? I don't know. I mean, I called my boyfriend, but that was like the extent of that. I'm like, who do I call? Like, am I supposed to take a picture of my taxi driver? Am I supposed to go straight to the hospital? I don't know. I feel like I didn't know I didn't know where to begin. So I thought to myself, I'm just going to wait till I go in for the podcast and get legal advice then.
Live on air.
My leg's broken, but I'm here.
You know what? Let's not do it live on air. We'll talk about it later. But
that's probably wise.
So let's get back. Here's the thing. I'm a terrible interrupter, and there are usually 4 things.
I'm going to interrupt you right there.
How rude. That's so rude.
You've met your match, Scott.
I'm running the show now. I have, and that's why I wanted you on the team. So, I always feel like I'm thinking of 3 things at once, and so not only am I an interrupter, but I also go off on other topics. So I'm going to try and lasso the Bronco back into get
it back in here,
whatever. And so you're not in school anymore, and I'm going to maybe embarrass you, but I was impressed with your resume because you're a singer and you're an actress.
Yes.
And there was something about being able to juggle and tap dance, and also you're an expert archer too, and also
hold on,
a marksman with muskets.
Those last 2 I cannot confirm as of this moment, though I would love to learn how to be an archer. That's super badass.
At my advanced age, you can't expect me to remember everything or not to make up stuff.
Just starts making shit up. One time that you went to Haiti and saved that whole village, and
that would be awesome.
That would be cool.
Although maybe
it's on my bucket list.
A boss would never hire you because he's too good for me. I will never live up to my employee.
Yeah. She precedes me. I can't have that. Yes. I'll look bad next to her.
Yeah.
I wonder if people don't get called in because of that. Someone looks at their resume and they're like, you're just too qualified.
Used to date Jay-Z.
Yeah. I'm going to feel weird
Beyonce
now.
On the rebound after I dumped him. What?
Right. This is too much. She's going to totally overpower me at dinner parties.
So what have you been up to? What have you been up to? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Do you have, what's the 3-year plan? Other than making this podcast fabulously entertaining?
Well, my New Year's goals, I actually have them scheduled for today. So, because I'm late to everything. Yeah. My food budget, my my goals and everything. It's in my calendar.
I thought you meant you intended to achieve all of your New Year's resolutions today.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, Scott, I'm just ahead of the game. I'm leaving tomorrow for Haiti, so I got to wrap up all my New Year's resolutions today.
So organized and on top of it.
Thank you, iPhone 6s. What am I doing? So the thing in the pot, is that what you're supposed to say? The thing that's boiling in the pot is I'm like a 37-year-old mother. I always like fuck up
that may
sayings.
Be terminology in the village you come from, but here in America where we speak English.
Oh God. Oh yeah. I'm like, what's her name? Salon Dijon. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you got cooking in the pot?
Yeah, cooking in the pot. So I'm currently working on a EP with KMA Management. Which is fun. We're doing covers of Justin Bieber, which wasn't on purpose. It kind of just happened. But I'm really excited about it. I'm working on my second one right now, and we're gonna do a third next month, and then we're gonna release the EP. And I'm a little intimidated because the cover is going to be. Do you know Justin Bieber? Are you familiar?
Vaguely.
Okay. I'm not sure if that was like your demographic or not, but he has this. Pose he does.
I'm more than twice as old as you.
I just wanted to verify how old you were. I just wanted to hear you say it.
No, I'm almost 50 years old. I mean, my God.
No way. I wouldn't have guessed that. I was gonna say like 30.
This is the part of the podcast where she's like nice to me because she wants to come back for episode 2.
You only get one. This is like my one compliment of the day.
48, which is like so weird to me, but anyway.
When am I going to be 48? That's like in how many years? 22.
You probably have like a little place on the moon, a house on Mars.
Yeah. It'll be
robot waitstaff.
24 in 24 years I'll be 48. That's kind of wow.
Yeah,
like I can't believe I'm already
literally half my age.
What?
So weird. Either you're super mature or I'm really immature.
You know what? I feel like I'm really mature, but then I don't know.
Others say I'm like, super immature.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm super mature.
Well, that's what keeps you young, though, you know? You have to laugh at fart jokes. But anyways, back to me. So Justin Bieber. Yeah, so he has this pose he does in his Calvin Kleins.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Right, that pose. So we're going to do that pose. And I'm like, all right, got my LA Fitness membership, going to be working at the gym. And, oh man, speaking of LA Fitness, like everyone there is like an 11. I'm like, oh my God, this is why I miss the YMCA, because I was like the youngest person there. I was the only one with colored hair. I was like, this is great. Okay, I can do this.
Like LA Fitness in Chicago?
Yeah.
Like that?
The one by me. It's like everyone's so on top of it, and yeah. But anyways, so we're gonna do that for the album cover, which I'm excited about. And then at the end of next month, I'm shooting a music video in Chinatown. So that'll be fun.
Have you ever noticed how alike Justin Bieber and what's her name, who is naked on the wrecking ball?
Oh my God, Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, they could be brother and sister.
They totally could be.
They really are.
They're both like crazy enough too. I will.
Yeah, I feel like Biebs is going through that. He's like hip hop, R&B influenced pop.
Right.
So he's got to be hard and he's got to be a man and
totally.
He's really just a skinny white boy.
Yeah.
So
scared.
He's like, I'm going to get tatted up and act hard and start fights.
Right.
And
cheat on my girlfriend.
Right. Which was a mistake.
Yeah, it's Selena Gomez.
Cute.
She's adorable. And she's so talented. And she's so sweet.
Maybe she could teach him to sing. I'm kidding. He's actually an excellent singer.
He is actually a brilliant musician. Like, I remember watching his YouTube videos when he was a kid. Yeah. And he really is talented. I think he's a little misunderstood. I think you're absolutely right. I think he's just he's a skinny white boy who's a little scared, not really sure how to act. But Miley fell into the same thing. People were telling her, like, you need to be sexier, you need to dress less. And
this is the old guy in me. Are you ready for it? It makes me so sad that a handsome, beautiful young man like Justin Bieber feels like the road to fulfilling masculinity is putting on an act and trying to be a little thug-like, whatever, right? Like, the kid is touched by God. If there is a God and he touches people.
Wow, that sounds terrible.
It really does. I mean, shades of Catholic priest thing. But you understand what I mean,
I totally do.
It makes me really sad that, like, the common path for masculinity in our culture is sort of this caricature, exaggerated caricature of this vision of aggressive masculinity, right?
Absolutely.
And then with Miley, it makes me feel even worse. Like some of her Disney persona, or a lot of it, is for sure a put on, right? Because Disney's a family show and they make you wholesome, and
absolutely
young girls like to kiss boys, and eventually, sorry, fathers of daughters, they're going to have sex and things like that.
It's going to happen.
And they're going to discover their sexuality and all that stuff. But I really feel like Miley went from like -10 normal woman for her age to 8,000, where it's just her sexuality, which she portrays, is so tawdry and exaggerated and trying so hard to be outrageous. It just makes me sad because, you know what? Again, beautiful girl, super talented.
So talented.
It makes me, I don't know, maybe I should be a parent.
Debating some real heavy life choices.
Well, I mean, there's still going to be hours after this podcast. Anything could happen. Anyway, whatever. I'm completely off topic.
Well, you know, I think there's a lot of, can you imagine that pressure though, being this impressionable middle schooler, and then you're thrust into this Hollywood scene, and all of your idols are these goddesses and these rock stars, and you think there's got to be a
sexuality,
of course,
and that's like a cornerstone.
Because sex sells.
No, that's right.
Right?
That's
sex sells,
sure.
and there's this, you know, it's a whole culture, and I mean, when I was in middle school, like I don't think I could have handled that. I mean, what do you want the most in middle school? You want to be friends with the popular kids. So can you imagine being this international sensation and being 12? That's insane. Of course, like no wonder they go to the opposite end of the spectrum, because it's this pressure to perform and to be perfect. And I think you're 100% right. And the other thing I would say is, you hit a point in your career where you're like, I need management. And then the guy you want is the guy who made the last 3 pop superstars. And the guy who made the last 3 pop superstars uses the same recipe, which is, dress as provocatively as possible. Right. Add as much weird sexuality into everything you do as possible. The less appropriate to the situation, the more headlines you're going to get, right? Right. And it's shock value. Yeah. So if it works, then that's what they're going to do, right? Yeah. Well, I hope for both of them. I think they're both really talented, and I hope that, I don't know, they grow out of it and they're able to, because they're both talented people, and I'm sure, they don't have easy home lives. Like they have some, blended families, and we don't ever know the full story. I mean, they are human beings at the end of the day. And, if I had a film crew following me 24/7, I mean, they'd be like, wow, I feel like what a weird dude. But on top of that, I feel like I know what's right for me. Right. Right. Yeah. But people don't know what's right for them until they hit a certain age. Right. Mm-hmm. So if you hit 30 years old and you're like, I'm a freaky freak, you sort of have some self-knowledge and life experience. But I feel like when you're a younger person and you sort of get encouraged in that direction, you have no idea who you are. No. And then you don't have like structure and a sense of self to fall back on. So we look at like Britney Spears' meltdown. We look at, who's that really pretty girl who was in Mean Girls with the freckles? Oh, Lindsay Lohan. Right. Problems with drugs and alcohol. Or like Amanda Bynes. She was such a cute little girl. Oh my God. Great actress. To be beautiful. Gorgeous. And so beautiful. Career, she's such a flake now. Nobody wants to hire her. Or I'm so bad with names. Brittany Murphy. Yeah, Brittany Murphy. She's great. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's really, anyway, whatever. I'm not going to solve all the world problems, and what we're talking about has nothing to do with injury law or Amelia Finefrock. Exactly. Which I must correct you now. It's pronounced Finefrock. Oh, is it Finefrock? I do tell people Finefrock because they get scared when they're like, how do you spell your name? And if I say Finefrock, they like start having palpitations, and they look at me in the eye like a scared deer. And like, what, how do you, what? I'm like, it's Finefrock. You're like, bro, it ain't that hard. Frock. It's funny. When I moved to Illinois, though, people got it. Like, I didn't have to spell it out for them. They were like, I get it. It's Finefrock, right? I'm like, wow, what? From the village I was from, it was a little hard to pronounce.
It's the charming Midwestern people you find in Illinois and in Chicago.
You just get it. I'm a little biased, but I think Chicago's the best.
It is a great city. I love it. But I grew up here. So.
That's right. You grew up here. What burb was it? Naperville?
No, I grew up in Chicago in a.
Clearly, I was listening.
Right. You never listened to
I'm
me.
a great listener. Yeah, let's make our co-host of the podcast.
I grew up in Chicago on the south side in a neighborhood, little village that was, really ethnically diverse. And then we moved further southwest, and I went to high school on the south side, Chicago Public Schools. Then I went to DePaul University undergrad, DePaul for law school, lived all over the city, and I've been living in Oak Park, which is, I don't know, it's like as close to the city you can live in without actually living in the city.
Right.
So it's like literally from where we are, it's like 9 miles due west as the crow flies.
Really? That sounds a lot closer. Well, I go by CTA, so in my mind, I'm thinking an hour.
You live in Chicago, right?
Yeah, I live on the north side.
Yeah, so actually, when I was living in Lincoln Square, which is, I would say mid-north. Like, it's not... Right, it's not totally like north. Evanston or Skokie or...
Sure.
Even... boy, my brain's not working. I need more coffee, maybe.
Yeah, clearly. Drink out of that Darth Vader cup.
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, my secretary bought me this Darth Vader coffee cup.
That's an amazing coffee cup.
And I'm just like, what are you trying to tell me? Because I think I'm a sweetheart. Clearly, we do not share.
Clearly not.
Yes.
You are on the dark side.
So what made you say, I want to be locked in a room with a lawyer who talks too much to discuss stuff?
I'm so glad you asked that. You know what? My cab's here. I'm about to go. It's been a pleasure. Thanks so much, Scott.
One and done.
I'll bill you later.
One and done.
Waiting for my check in the mail. Wow. Well, big elephant in the room. I get to talk about me, so that's,
That always makes you happy.
Plus 5 points. No, actually...
it's got to be partially like a resume builder if you want to get into entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, it gives you an opportunity to like get your name out there and stuff.
Well, I think a bigger influence for me was when I finished at Illinois Media School. A lot of our... we had a lot of tests on... hosting our own radio show and having we had options to do a podcast, and we ended up doing me and a couple of their friends ended up doing a weekly radio show, and it reminded me of growing up and listening to Car Talk. It was very nostalgic, and before I went to that school, I didn't think twice of radio. I didn't really listen to the radio except for NPR, but it's really theater of the mind, and I think that's what kind of got me into that whole world. Like, oh, this is really cool. It's almost like you get to, in my mind, you get to sneak peek on people and their thoughts. It's like a little piece of their world, and it's nostalgic.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I feel the same way. When I listen to a lot of podcasts and a lot of YouTube channels, and I feel like it's like you almost are having somebody read a letter from a friend, like a long form letter. And you listen to people over and over, and if they have like some shared values or there's something about their personality that resonates with you, it's like visiting with a friend. Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Except you don't get to talk back.
Yeah.
Which is, so you have to be a good listener? Or,
I guess.
I mean, you can talk back to the radio or
you could. It'd be a little weird.
Not in company.
I'm assuming you do that because we're talking about it now.
No, me? No, I would never do that. I'm so offended you would suggest it. Well, listen, I don't want I'm trying to keep the podcasts reasonably short, but I think anybody who's listening can understand pretty quickly why I knew right away that, I wanted to have you on the show and offer you the position. I think we have a nice, rapport, whatever. I think you're a smart person, interesting person. And, like I told you before, if you've got any upcoming stuff that you want to promote, or if anybody wants to hire actress, singer,
writer,
archer,
director, producer,
musket,
juggler,
marksman,
unicycler on a good day.
Within reason. I'm happy to, promote your stuff.
Thank you.
As much as we can. So do you have a YouTube channel?
I do. I actually
Why don't you tell the folks what your YouTube channel is?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me at Amelia Finefrock on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Am I forgetting one? Oh, and Snapchat. So Amelia Finefrock. And I can spell that for you if you'd like.
No, you don't have to. It's spelled
Here we go.
Fine
F is in I was thinking for a while just dropping the frock and being fine. Like Amelia Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? But then Finefrock's such a, who, do you know another Finefrock?
No, it's
exactly.
one of those things. You can be
I'm one in a million.
Finefrock, right?
Right. Yeah, when I get famous, I'll just be Finefrock.
Did you say one in Amelia?
Yeah, I did.
That's awesome. That should be
right?
your first album.
One in Amelia. Oh, God. That could be really cute or really terrible.
Yeah, I meant it in the really terrible way.
Oh, of course you did, Scott.
I'm here to help.
Thank you. Yeah, you said you were promoting me, and this is what I get? Okay.
Come on,
all right.
I kid. Well, thanks for coming in. Folks,
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening. I know the show wasn't about the law, but that's probably a welcome thing. The next ones will be, and I don't know. Thanks for listening. Take care.
Take care.
Thanks for listening. I truly hope that the information in the podcast helps you no matter the situation you find yourself in. But you might need more answers or some more direct help. So there are 3 ways for you easily to find out more and to get help. If you call my toll-free 24-hour helpline, 888-HURT-318, you'll have a couple of options. 888-HURT-318 is my toll-free 24-hour telephone line. You can call that number and speak with my team night or day. First, you can call 888-HURT-318, and you can speak to me for a free consultation about your case or situation. That's always free and no obligation. Second, you can tell the operator that you'd like a free copy of my injury DVD and book. I created the DVD and book, and I give it away for free to injured people who need answers, but who might not be ready to talk to a lawyer yet. Same deal, 100% free, 100% no obligation. Third and finally, you can check out my YouTube channel for informative videos about the injury case and claims process, or check out my other podcasts for more information and interesting interviews with people who know different things about various aspects of the law. I've put all of this together to help you and to answer your questions. Now, you can also help me, and I hope that you will. If you enjoyed the podcast and if it helped you at all, please subscribe, and if you can, take a minute and please post a positive review of the show. If you're listening to the podcast on YouTube, like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you know anyone who might enjoy the podcast, please spread the word and share it on Facebook. It's my mission to spread good information to as many people as possible, and your liking and reviewing and subscribing to the podcast helps me get the word out. Thanks again. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It doesn't substitute for consulting with a lawyer. If you have a case, speak with a lawyer right away.